see. Before we get to the new comment, let's rewind for those of you who missed it. Harry and Meghan's tour of Colombia squandered public money, says local councilman. Colombia councilman has accused the vice president of squandering public money on vanity. 100% factual. The security chief of the city council took to social media to criticize the event, claiming billions of pesos have been used to host them, which could have been used to expand coverage of children's canteens, pay salaries of community mothers, seed capital for Afro communities, or adapt sports venues practically in ruins. Andre Escobar, who accused the vice president who traveled with Meghan and Harry of squandering public money on vanity, added that taxes have been on photo opportunities and social media. While it's not been confirmed how much the trip actually cost, it's understood the cost of security was shouldered by the vice president's office. Now, that's where things get interesting, because the estimates on that are in the millions of how much this allegedly cost. So the backlash got so big that, yes, breaking news, she had to respond and reveal, well, it wasn't just them who funded it. Ooh, are you ready to let's get into this, folks. Let's get into this.
Who's ready to hatch
Okay, so
some
what is
cool
happening
pets?
right now is something absolutely outrageous. This is not what Colombian people signed up for when they voted for this corrupt, degenerate lady, degenerate politician in their country, Francia Marquez. Let's take a listen a little bit more from Andy.
Ooh, are you ready to let's get into this, folks. Let's get into this. Officials in Colombia have now set the record straight about how Prince Harry and Meghan's tour was financed after the couple was accused of costing the country 1.5 million pounds just to cover security. They visited Colombia, as we know, for the 4-day tour last week, visiting schools and performances, yada, 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 all the ridiculousness. These costs, which were worked out, 375,000 pounds a day. 3,000 police, soldiers,
Wow.
helicopters, sniffer dogs, bomb disposal units, and a guard armed with a bulletproof shield in case of any sniper attacks. My goodness. However, Colombian Vice President Francis Marquez, who invited Harry and Meghan, has now revealed how the tour was funded. While their personal engagements were co-financed, it is understood that international agencies helped with the cost. Colombia Ministry of Equality and Equity also stated that the Sussex covered their own travel expenses. Interesting. So this is Archewell cost. Archewell's raising money, getting their funds to allow for travel so they can go to these foreign countries to show up and do good. That's what the charity is now doing.
In other words, both parties are corrupt. You have to have one party extremely corrupt for the other party, which is even more extremely corrupt, to invite. This is exactly what happened when Meghan Markle and her team reached out to her office, Francia Marquez. They offered publicity, Meghan and Harry, the publicity that nobody wants. But because they're not well educated in terms of Meghan and Harry's image in the States and also in UK, they decided, you know what, this is going to be a huge PR deal for us, so we are going to be inviting them regardless how much money it will cost. The money they have spent, the vice president, on Meghan and Harry, if you take a look at all the events they held, one particular event where we have seen Meghan and Harry, they were sitting apart, that event was held in a gymnasium. Other than that, they had to book a big hotel, obviously, for their accommodation, and also for the other events like the school and all of those things. And they had to spend a lot of money for the security, because remember, those schools, the music school or whatever school they went to, they were open. There was, in other words, no boundaries. There was no shelter, if you want to call it shelter. In other words, they were not protected. They were not in a bubble. They were not in a protected zone. So the government had to create one for that to happen. And so those cost them thousands and thousands of dollars for Meghan and Harry. And now, obviously, we see that the actual cost is not actually 1.5 million. It is more than 2 million. We will see more numbers coming out if the government of Colombia, they allow, because they are corrupt. They control the narrative, they control who says what. But if they don't, and we have, an transparency in terms of how much they spend, you will find at least $5 million. At least $5 million. I'm telling you, $1.5 million or $2 million is the estimation of coming from non-government organization. So if they do an investigation and the government is honest about it, you will see the cost is way more than $2 million.
Assume that these two are doing this out of the goodness of their heart. No, I would argue, and I want to see the books, I'm assuming these travel expenses are paid for by their Archewell charity, and that is just sickening. The level of cost for their travel is astronomically too high to go to these things. The money you would have spent going could be better used to do the charity. But no, they got to show up and do good with all the security to get those photo ops and fancy dresses, right? Statement by Marquez's office reads, "This visit was a result of a collective effort. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex financed their trip and that of their team with their own resources. The events held in the various places visited were co-financed with resources from international cooperation and philanthropy that generously contributed to this visit." So charity funds.
Obviously, it makes now all the sense why Dominic Reed, the CEO of Invictus, quit. Why did he resign? It all adds up now after seeing this expensive trip, vacation, frivolous trip, really. No need for that. Absolute bullocks. Everything they did not help Colombia at all, even though they have published a new video promoting the tourism because of Meghan and Harry came over to Colombia. But these are all fake news, fake claims from the Colombian government. This is why we have to find out more about this as we unravel more information coming from Colombia and the state councilor.
Ministry of Equality and Equity and the Vice President guarantee the technical requirements, mobility, and participation of young people, women, and communities. Look, this is blasphemous. And this, I can't imagine Harry and Meghan are excited to see that this has now been out and the vice president's out there saying, well, we didn't pay for it all, because I'm sure Harry and Meghan were trying to just skirt the blame over there. Well, yeah, they paid for it. Of course, we didn't pay for it all. We don't waste money. We don't waste our charitable money. No. Obviously, this tour triggered questions about why the Duke and Duchess visited the country at all, the country which is facing huge socioeconomic problems. But there they were with all these fancy outfits and smiling and salsas.
Not only Dominic Reed, the CEO of Invictus, but also the Josh Kettler, I think, the head of or chief of staff, whatever he quit. So two people resigning back to back so fast. Guys, they are hiding. Meghan and Harry, they are hiding something big. They must be investigated by IRS. They must be investigated by the FBI. And if they are investigated, you will find more dirt. This is why perhaps right now Meghan is endorsing Kamala Harris. By the way, I'm not promoting Kamala or Donald Trump. I'm not. I want to stay away from politics when it comes to especially Meghan and Harry, because a lot of people take advantage of Meghan and Harry and say, oh, Kamala is bad, or Donald Trump is good, or Donald Trump is bad, Kamala is good. I don't want to get into that kind of discussion. The matter of the fact is, at the end of the day, they want a government, Meghan Markle, that would not investigate them. That would not investigate Invictus or Archewell. I mean, Invictus money was used, Archewell's money was used. From all across the platform that they are involved in, they're markling everything. When I say markling is a new word, you get markled. They're markling everything. Everything is just falling apart. Every institution they are associated with, in any way, shape, or form, right now is struggling financially. So guys, they must be investigated, and this kind of news, breaking news, I think it was expected. Nigeria tour, at least it was not that expensive because of the Nigerian standard of life, I believe, is lower than Colombian standard of life. It means if you spend $1 in Colombia, it will be a lot more compared to spending same $1 in Nigeria, because obviously the standard of living is different. No hurt to Nigerians, but I just want to be fair in my assessment. And this is why the cost is going all the way up, and we will see and find out more shocking bombshells and details from Meghan and Harry, but I believe that this is the red line where we say that this duplicitous duos, this two deceptive person, must be investigated without any further delay. If you have any comment, let me know in the comment section below what you think. What is your assessment? Let me know. Share with me your opinion. I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful